It's tinfoil hat time.
You take the card and put it in the sleeve.
Is Upper Deck going to get sold to Fanatics? And Rob Veras speaks out with some more information about his deal with Fanatics. We've got some stuff cooking here. Stick around. What's going on, sports card hobby family? Another day, another sports card video. We are back. We have got Off-Centered here tonight, starting in just a few hours, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be announced. Flippin' Steve, Neo, and Hambone, Michael Ham, will be joining in tonight, so make sure to tune in. Before I dive into these topics, huge thanks to today's video sponsor, COMC.com. 35 million plus card database, hockey, football, basketball, all the stuff, all the non-sports, easy to buy and sell. Make sure that you check out COMC.com. I've got links down below. You can grade through COMC, run auctions on COMC. It's all fun over there at COMC.com, so make sure to check it out. Also, don't forget, Hakes Auctions ends tonight. Lots of cool vintage sports cards and different little thingamabobbers all over Hakes. All right, so there was a lot of buzz around the National and the San Diego Comic-Con. I don't think it's been officially formally announced yet, but a lot of smoke around the fact that it looks like Upper Deck is going to lose the Marvel license, Marvel card license, over to Fanatics. Fanatics, the Pac-Man, just keeps on eating, and it looks like Upper Deck is the latest victim. Marvel card's a pretty big deal. I know for a lot of sports card people, you're kind of like, ho-hum, whatever. But it did get me thinking. Now, Upper Deck re-upped with the NHL for trading cards at the beginning of this year on a 10-year agreement. So Fanatics was looking to swoop in there and kind of do what they did with the other leagues. It looks like Upper Deck is pretty secure there with the NHL. But about a year ago, Fanatics did a deal with the NHL where they are their exclusive uniform apparel company. So Fanatics does have a relationship with the NHL, and I have to believe that Michael Rubin would love to have all of the major sports, and that looks to be the one infinity stone that is just hanging out there. They've got the other three major sports, but they don't have the NHL. So how do you get the NHL? Especially when Upper Deck just signed a 10-year deal. You buy Upper Deck. And my God, man, when you think about all the opportunities there, Fanatics likes to buy distressed assets. That's what they do. And my God, man, I mean, Upper Deck has Exquisite. They've got SP. They've got all sorts of different cool cards over time that people love. People love Upper Deck cards. Not to mention, Upper Deck owns the rights to Fleer. Fleer!
Make sure to keep this from falling here. Whew. Everything's falling, guys. This is a wall of cards.
Fleer, Ultra, Fleer Metal, PMGs, all the goodness. I mean, to be honest, I don't know what Panini's asking price is or if that's ever going to go anywhere based on all the legal stuff going on between the two companies. But Upper Deck, which is privately held, I was trying to find more information on who owns Upper Deck and this and that, whatever. I have heard people say Upper Deck is not for sale. They're never selling. And maybe that's true. But my thing is, I just feel like everybody's got a price. I feel like every company's got a price. And if Fanatics cannot get Panini and National Treasures and Prism and those great properties, man, a nice runner-up to that to go with their top stuff would be Upper Deck, man. That would be killer, and it would solve for the hockey stuff. They'd have all of it, and they could do all kind of they could cross different athletes for different products and do what they do. Wemby's on baseball cards and all that stuff. What I would be curious to know is what kind of a blow would it be for Upper Deck to lose Marvel from a revenue standpoint? Because I think from collectors and Marvel card collectors and comic book collectors, they'd think, man, that's a huge deal. But we don't really know what that looks like. You know, how much does Disney take? What's their take on, Marvel cards? I mean, maybe it's one of those things where they have a license, but they don't really make a whole lot of money off of it. I don't know the X's and O's, the numbers behind it. But if it is a huge shot to their bottom line, if they were to lose Marvel cards, would it put Upper Deck in, a different frame of mind where it's like, you know what, maybe we will entertain offers. Maybe we will kind of see what Fanatics has got to say. I mean, Fanatics it's just very clear that they are identifying assets, and if they become available, they are going to be aggressive. And speaking of, Burbank Cards, Burbank Sports Cards, Rob Veras recently. To be honest, I was really surprised by this. And the biggest reason I was surprised by Burbank moving over to Fanatics Collect, which is the old PWCC, all 40 million of their cards. Now, Rob did clarify that they are not going to stop using Beckett Marketplace. So essentially, it's more of a not using eBay thing and being exclusive to Fanatics Collect, being what Rob calls the long tail or kind of the foundational inventory sitting there on Fanatics Collect for the low end. And actually, good interview. I think there's a full interview coming up on Friday, Sports Card Madness. The guys, Nick and Larry, shout out to them. They're always doing good stuff. They had little bits, little clips that came out. I think there was like a 7 or 8 minute part that they had put out. And, they asked, do you see other companies following suit and doing kind of the same thing? And I was thinking about it from Rob's standpoint. I don't know if I'd really want a bunch of other companies coming over, because the whole point of Rob wanting to kind of move over, from what I was kind of reading between the lines, and again, I could be wrong on some of this, but it's the whole idea that Fanatics is going to turn fans into more collectors. They have 100 million, I think it's like 100 million subscriber email list. And so it's the idea that Burbank cards would be put front and center as kind of the trading cards of Fanatics that are really being pushed out there, which of course means more volume of sales and maybe higher dollar amounts for sales. That's the whole idea behind it, and just getting more global exposure. But a lot of that, the leap of faith, the risk is that Fanatics, putting all this money and energy and marketing, is able to convert many, many more sports fans over to being collectors. This will be the ultimate experiment in that. Because if Fanatics can't do it at a large scale, then no company will. There's never been a company in this space that is going to put this sort of resources into trying to build out, convert sports fans into collectors. No company has ever come close to the amount of money that Fanatics is putting in and will put in to try to make this happen. And so if it fails, then I think we just have to accept the fact that, hey, collectors are collectors. You're either born a collector or not. People are either going to get into this stuff or they're not. It's still going to remain very niche. Of course, Fanatics wants it to be way more mainstream and tie into the sports betting and the buying the jersey and the buying the apparel and going to the games and all this stuff tying together. But again, if I'm Rob, I don't really want to see, a bunch of other people go from eBay over to Fanatics Collect, because then that's just competition for Burbank cards. That's the way that I would look at it if I was Rob. Maybe he doesn't look at it that way, but his response I thought was interesting. He said, his response when they asked him, do you think other people are going to follow? Well, not everybody's going to be in the same position as us. And so it might not be a good deal or the right deal for them. That to me kind of sounded like, I don't really want to see a bunch of other people coming over. And maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe there'll be plenty of room for all of them. But think about it from the standpoint of, if you are kind of the main low to mid end, and of course you're going to have some higher end with Burbank, but you're kind of the main source of inventory that Fanatics is pushing out there into the universe and marketing. Do you want all the other ones coming too? Probably not. So we will have to see how this shakes out, my friends. Like I said, Sports Card Madness is going to have a full overview of Rob Veras and Fanatics and kind of on that whole deal, because I was surprised. And the other part of the reason why I'm surprised, Rob Veras hates card breaking. He hates breaks. He does not like the gambling side of the hobby, and Fanatics is going all in on that side of the hobby. So how is that going to shake out for him? We will have to find out, and I think there's going to be more in that interview that I will be able to kind of glean from and we can talk about. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.